Hey, Fresh Coast gamers, here we are. We're still at the last Garage Hammer day of the summer. This 40K game that you have already seen in a bat rep is starting to wind down. They're about halfway through right now. Mike and I are going to be doing the premiere match, as we're calling it, at the back. We're going to be playing 3,000 points aside of Age of Darkness Horus Heresy stuff. And some of you guys who've been following our bat reps with Heresy know that I've been working on my Death Guard. Well, today I'm going to debut 3,000 points of fully painted Warhammer 30K, and I'm super happy about that. We're going to be kind of tweaking rules a little bit to make it fit what we've got going on, but Mike's got his Emperor's Children, and I've got my Death Guard, and we're going to throw down... Oh, and Larry and Jeremy are actually going to be doing another game over here, some Necrons versus probably Space Marine shenanigans crap. Alright, so let's take a look at what I'm bringing. We'll take a look at the table and get this thing started. So I've been waiting to do this for a long time, but here is my 3,000 points of Death Guard. They're going to be led by Mortarion. He is the Primarch, of course, by himself. He is an awesome super giant ninja dude. He has 3 Death Shroud Terminators with Melt-A-Bombs. I have 5 Grave Wardens with 1 Chain Fist in the squad. I have a Praetor with a, what's it called, the Paragon Blade. He's got Rad Grenades, and he also has the Barber and Thurible, which is, it extends a 6-inch bubble away from him, of -1 toughness for all my enemies, so it's going to be a lot easier for me to wound everybody. As far as troop choices, I have 2 minimum 10-man tack squads with the Voxcasters, so I can call in my triangulation from the Master Signal, who's hanging out back there. He's with 5 missile launchers. I also have 5 heavy flamers and a Rhino, and they're going to be with the Praetor. For elite choices, I've got 2 Dreadnoughts with las cannons and graviton cannons. One of them has a chain fist as well. I have the Dorado pattern Dreadnought with the Anvil autocannons, the missile launchers, and he also has the crazy force field, which gives him a +1 to his invuln and extends it out 6 inches, or excuse me, 3 inches away from him as well. So he's going to be walking along with my Grave Wardens, giving them a 3-up invuln save. It's going to be real tough to knock him out. I have a Rapier Battery, 3 of them back there, and then my Cerastus Knight Acheron. This is 3,000 points. Alright, so here we have Mike's Emperor's Children's Force. They're going to be led by Fulgrim, so we're going to have some cool Primarch on Primarch action. Buried in this giant box of purple somewhere is his Warlord, or his HQ choice, his Primaris Medicae. Now, he's not using any Rite of War. I am using the Reaping for mine. He has a 20-man squad of Assault Marines, 20-man Tactical Squad, 10 Cacophony in there as well. I think they're really cool. So far, every time he's used them against me, they've been really effective. There's 10 Palatine Blades. They're going to be riding with Fulgrim in the Storm Eagle. There's a Xiphon Interceptor with Chaff, a Sicaran Venator with the Neutron Laser. There is a Dreadnought in a drop pod with a Flamestorm Cannon and a Heavy Flamer, so that's going to be kind of nasty. Land Speeder with the missile launchers. And then the Malkador Tank. This is kind of Mike's... we're not really calling it Unbound because that doesn't really exist in 30K, but the Malkador is the Solrock Zilla Malkador, so it's got a few different upgrades and options. Double las cannons on the side, Demolisher Cannon in the front, and that's a multi-laser, not a heavy stubber. And I believe he put a flare shield on there as well. Yep. So, that's his 3,000 points. We're going to get deployed and show you the table and talk about the mission after that. Here we have a shot of our table. We are playing the, what's the mission called? Fire what now? Firetide mission with the ambush deployment. So I rolled off, got to be the defender, so I'm deploying everything within 18 inches of the center of the table. I've got my Knight, the Dreadnought block right here with my Grave Wardens. The Dreadnought's Anatomic Advance is giving everybody boosts on their invuln saves. I've got my Devastators right here. Heavy Weapon Squad right here holding this building, and they're getting ready to rain some missiles down on whatever they feel like. Heavy Flamers are right here. I've got a Tac Squad here, and in that building, they're holding an objective. They're getting ready to push forward on one. My Rapiers are up here on the building guarding that flank. And Mortarion and his buddies are right down here too. As for this deployment, Mike has to deploy on both outside edges. So he chose only to put the tactical blob right here, and everything else is on this side of the table. He's got his Speeder and Cacophony over here, and the Venator is right here. Everything else he has is in reserve. His Flyers are in reserve, and then Fulgrim and the Palatine Blade squads are also in reserve. And because he could hold the jump pack guys back because they have Deep Strike, they are also in reserve. So he's got a lot off the table. We'll see if it works for him. He's going to roll now to see if he can seize the initiative. Go ahead. He does not. That's a 2. So I have the first turn. There's no night fighting. We'll come back after the top of turn 1. Top of turn 1, Mortarion and his boys and those tactical marines advanced this way and fired that way as well. They killed a couple with some shooting, and my rapiers killed a few more, but Mike made his leadership check. I also dropped my the fire bomb right here from the mission. Each shooting phase, we both get to drop one of these markers, and they scatter 3d6. This one was a direct hit. They stay in play, and any units within 6 inches of them take automatic strength 5 hits for those. So that's going to be pretty fun to deal with all game long. If they land on terrain pieces, these pieces become blocking terrain, and anything in it gets stealth, and they're still going to take the hits. Over here, my dreadnoughts at night advanced towards the Malcador hiding in the ruins back there. I took 1 hull point off it with a grav gun shot from my dreadnought, but that's it. My tank went full speed there, could not flat out, of course, because of my Legion tactics. My dreadnought and his Terminator buddies came this way towards the Sicaran, and that's about it. So I tried shooting him with some missiles and completely failed. Mike's turn 1 coming up. Bottom of turn 1, Mike's Sicaran came around here, and the Malcador came through the ruins this way. And they both open up on the knight. Now, I used my shield on the side to protect against the Sicaran, and it didn't block either shot. He did 2 hull points with the neutron laser and concussed it, so it's initiative 1, and it can only snap fire, which is bad news because I was going to flamethrower those cacophony in the tower. The Malcador took another hull point off it with a las cannon. The cacophony and the land speeder combined to take 2 hull points off with glances on that rhino, and that's it. So no first blood yet. I lost 5 Marines to the Flamestorm cannon right here that deep struck down, and I think 4 from the Flamestorm and 1 from the Heavy Flamer. So now we're going to go into my turn 2, top of turn 2. I have no reserves, and I'm going to try to blow me up some tanks. Top of turn 2, my Marines and Death Shroud managed to kill a bunch more of the Marines over here, but my Death Shroud failed their assault range, or assault move to get in, so they're still stuck there. Mortarion broke off and whipped out the lantern and shot the Dreadnought down with 1 shot. Didn't even need to sunder it. I just rolled a pen and rolled a 6 on the damage roll and blew him up because it's AP2. The Rapiers took off a hull point by stunning the Sicaran over there. I glanced it 1 more time with the Death Shroud over here, with their grenade launchers, and then finish it off with a las cannon shot from the dreadnoughts right there. So that got wrecked. I tried to charge the knight into the Malcador. It actually can overwatch, and took another hull point off the knight. So the knight's down to 2 hull points. The Dorado destroyed the speeder with its autocannons pretty easily, and that's it. I took 2 hull points off the drop pod with the missile launchers over here. I can't drop my Master of Signals bombardment on that tank because it's just not going to be effective against its flare shield, which is stupid. Anyway, we're going to move into the bottom of turn 2. I have 1 point for first blood, and Mike's going to have some reserves coming in. Hopefully. Bottom of turn 2, Mike gets all his reserves in. Everything decided to come on that side of the table. As you can see, though, there's a big empty hole here in the middle where my knight was. That knight I could never get to really do much because it's such a huge bullet magnet. But in this game, being a bullet magnet kind of helped, I think, because I've been able to kind of ignore Mike's big stuff and work on taking out objectives. Anyway, the Malcador finished it off with the Demolisher cannon. He actually shot the cannon at the Marines after the tank was... my Land Raider was wrecked by the... What shot that? Oh, the Storm Eagle came in. My Rhino, I'm sorry. The Rhino got destroyed by the Storm Eagle, and so he tried to hit some of the guys with the Demolisher cannon, and it scattered back and blew up the knight, so the las cannons didn't have anything to shoot at. I lost a couple Marines with to some fire from all the bolt pistols from the Assault Marines that came screaming onto the table over here, and then they failed their leadership check, and they're running away. This squad decided a Fury of the Legion on my Death Shroud, and I made every save, because 2-up armor is great. And the Xiphon actually shot at the knight and took 1 of the hull points off, but I put my shield in the back because I had a better chance. I felt there was better chance of stopping the Xiphon shots than I did the Malcador. But it was good because then it made the Malcador take its shots on the knight and not shoot other things. So Mike got a point for killing the knight because you get a point for killing super heavies in Age of Darkness games. So right now we are tied 1-1, and it is my turn 3. Yes. Top of turn 3, my Dreadnought and the Grave Wardens turn around and started walking this way. The Grave Wardens took the last hull point off the drop pod. The Dreadnought shot, and the Rapiers, and actually the flak missiles from my missile launchers here, all shot into the Storm Eagle and managed to only glance it once. It took a single glancing hit and is jinking, but it's still going to be able to drop off its cargo of Fulgrim and his buddies. Over here, the Death Shroud charged in on the Bolter Marines and killed them. Actually killed 5 of them, and the last one ran off the table. These guys regrouped, so they're okay. Mortarion only actually failed to kill a Marine with a Phosphex round because Mike made his Feel No Pain roll, and then charged in there. I issued a challenge. The Sergeant accepted. Mortarion took no wounds. I killed 3 in return, but because Fulgrim is on the table, he's gives him a +2 to that roll, and he rolled a 7, which is exactly what he needed. Oh, I'm sorry, roll a 6. He needed a 6 because he's a -1 from Mortarion, +2 from Fulgrim, and -3 from losing the combat. Leadership 8 because he doesn't have a sergeant, puts him at a 6 exactly, and he made it. Xiphon is going to be moving in over here. But the big news, actually, before we get to that, I lost another Marine to a Gets Hot roll. And then I lost one more to a Snapfire. They killed a couple of the guys in the ruins there, though, and they made the leadership check there. Okay. But the Malcador is no more because I got ridiculously lucky with my Chain Fist armed Dreadnought. They both turned and shot at it and did nothing. I think it took a hull point off with a haywire shot from the Graviton gun. But this tank gets to Overwatch because he paid for the tank commander upgrade from the Solar Auxilla. So he actually blew up my other Dreadnought first. I assaulted with that one, and then he blew him up on the way in. The Chain Fist one managed to get in, though. Hit him 4 times, wrecked him, boom, destroyed him. And that's it. So right now I am up 2-1 because I got that point, and I had the first blood point. Mike has the bottom of 3 coming up. Fulgrim and his buddies are going to jump out and do some serious damage to somebody. It looks like the Death Shroud and maybe the attack Marines over there. Bottom of turn 3, the Storm Eagle turns around and dumps out the Palatine Blades. They come in there, multi-assault my tack squad and the Death Shroud. I rolled miserably on my saves. I failed both my invulns from his rending, and I failed 2 more regular armor saves and lost 2 of the Death Shroud. The Marines all died too. So thanks to Stubborn, though, he's sticking around. He's going to make things really slow over there, I guess. Fulgrim charged into Mortarion. There was just enough hole for him to get in there. Now he can't join the unit because it was already engaged. So he charged in there, challenged Mortarion, and the 2 of them fought. Mortarion took 1 wound. The rest of the squad did nothing, and that's it. There's a firestorm that got dropped on that building, so that building is now blocking for line of fire purposes through it. The guys in have shrouded, and they're going to take hits every turn, but that's okay. The Xiphon turned that way and dropped the Dreadnought, shot it in the back with everything, blew it up. I lost the last heavy flamer way down over here, but my Praetor is still okay. He's going to try to take those guys out himself, and that's it. Moving into turn 4. Top of turn 4, the Palatine Blades finished off that last Death Shroud Terminator. Morty did a sweep attack, killed 4 of the Marines, and hit Fulgrim once, but didn't wound him. But thanks to Fulgrim's awesome +2 to combat resolution, this is a draw because Fulgrim whacked 2 wounds off of Mortarion, so that's starting to hurt. The Rapiers blew up the Storm Eagle because it was in hover mode, and the Dorado finished off the Xiphon because he failed a couple Jinx saves, and I blew him out of the sky with the autocannons. The Praetor came over here and charged at and killed 2 of the Cacophony. They are stuck in combat with him because, again, thanks to Fulgrim's awesome ability, that is a draw in combat. He killed 2, they did nothing back, so that's a draw. So we're going to move into the bottom of 4. Mike's going to go real quick with his Palatine Blades, try to get them over the Rapiers, and then turn 5 will be very fast. Bottom of turn 4 was super fast. The Palatine Blades moved over here and ran. They're trying to come after my Rapiers, and Mortarion killed 4 more guys and took 1 more wound in return, but that's still going to be a stalemate. They're not going anywhere. Turn 5 coming up. It's just going to be 1 video. Sorry about the darkness. Larry needs to get some more lights like we've said in a couple videos now. That or we need to play faster so it's not so dark when we're playing. Anyway, there's a lot of really just disappointing things that happened this round. Mike gets 8 attacks with Fulgrim because his initiative is 3 points higher than Mortarion, so he had 8 swings. He's been rolling miserably on his attack rolls. This time he got 7 hits. Wounds him 3 times, and I fail all 3 of my invuln saves, and he knocked all 3 wounds off him. So Mortarion dies to Fulgrim. That gives him Slay the Warlord and a point for killing a Lord of War. So Mike has 1 point for my Knight, 1 point for Fulgrim, or Mortarion, then 1 point for Warlord Mortarion. So he's 3 points. I have First Blood and the Malcador for 2, and then I'm holding an objective. He consolidated over here, and I think he's within it in turn 5.
They can
So,
fly, so
yeah, well, if the game ended in turn 5, let's double check. I think they're in range. They are not. So if the game had ended in turn 5, I would have had a win.
That was the top of the turn, right?
That was the bottom of the turn. That was in your turn.
Was it?
Yep. However, no, you're right. That was the top of the turn.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it was the top of the turn. So we did top of turn 5 then. Now Mike is going to get to go. He's going to get to move his guys on the objective, and he's going to be winning. But we already rolled the turn. We kind of jumped ahead. We'll re-roll that because that would only be the fair thing to do. So we're gonna get his guys over there. Everything's kind of running around. His Palatine Blade looks like he's gonna hide. I shot the heck out of the blades. There's only 2 of them left. Hey, some light. Awesome. We're getting a little loopy. Also, we've been playing all day. But if you ask me, the biggest amount of BS came over here. My Praetor swung and killed one of his guys. But again, thanks to Fulgrim's +2 to combat resolution, I technically lost the fight.
Technically.
So I roll an 11 on my leadership check, and he sweeps me off the table.
Fulgrim has inspiring presence.
These 2 cacophony who haven't done squat to my Praetor run him off the table. Thanks. Awesome. 30K's broken. Anyway, we're gonna roll this to see if we get turn 6, and then come back after. We've actually figured out that there's no way I can possibly come back and win this game because I don't have enough to actually knock off the Assault Marines right here. Because with Fulgrim joining the squad, they're fearless. So I can't bring enough firepower to kill all those Assault Marines on that objective. And Mike did a good job piling himself around it. So the game's gonna end right there with Mike getting 1.4. Oh, actually, Mike, you're gonna hate this.
What?
No, never mind. It's still okay. I thought you might have missed out on Linebreaker, and I might have gotten it, but I didn't.
I don't think there is
move
Linebreaker
anything
in this one.
There might not be. Who knows? We're not really. We're only kind of half paying attention to the mission anyway because we stopped playing with the Firestorm barrages a long time ago and all kinds of stuff. Anyway, Mike has Warlord, 2 Lord of War kills, +3 points for the objective for a grand total of 6. I have 1 objective over there with those guys who didn't do much all game except hold it. So that's 3 plus First Blood plus a Lord of War kill. That's 5. So Mike wins 6-5. It was fun, and we're kind of realizing that yes, there's a 30K is more balanced, but there's still some really goofy shenanigan-y stuff. And we had some weird rules issues to deal with multi-fights and challenges and a bunch of different stuff. But all in all, this was a fun game, and we can't wait to get everybody else involved. I'm not going to include Larry because we all know Larry is our 30K guru in the group. So thanks for watching. 2 bat reps in 1 day. I'm spent. We're going to get the kids packed up and go home, and next week we're going to get back to something different.